One Question is brought to you by Turnkey Search, a top industry search firm since 1996.
What else is out there that's on your radar that you like and you want to improve upon?
Well, we do have a lot of ancillary events. We have some that have been around for years and that we continue to grow. The thing that we like is that we get to move from city to city because we can expose women's basketball to different cities. However, that does pose a challenge that you start to build up something for a year and a half, and then you're like, oh, now we have to pick up and move everything into a different city. But so that education process is really important. But our Fan Fest area is Tracie Town, and that's one of our biggest draws. It's, the pregame Fan Fest. It's open usually Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then Tuesday before the game. So fans can come out there. It's very family oriented, a lot of the Papa Shots and different games like that. But we also have brought in different elements for our older fans. We have a lifestyle lounge where we have the Q&A with the coaches, or they do chef demonstrations, or they do cook-offs against each other. And programming like that where you can sit and you can listen and you can just really enjoy it. So we've been trying to build those things for different demographics. And this year in Indianapolis, we decided that since it was our 35th anniversary, we were also going to do a really big Friday night party and try and tie in some history. So again, when I mentioned I don't have any student athletes to tell a story, we figured we were in Indy. We said, let's find a student athlete who embodies exactly what we're trying to do. So we reached out to Shira Eli Gash, who played in 4 Final Fours for Pat Summitt at Tennessee. She owns her own business. She styles celebrities and athletes and professional women in general, but she's still based here in Indianapolis, born and raised, won amazing titles here as a high school student as well. So we reached out to her and said, do you want to do a fashion show at our Friday night party? Because she had wanted to do some sort of fashion. And we said, let's just blow this out. Let's do a huge fashion show on Friday, and then we're going to follow it up with the Salt and Pepper concert, which for us, again, a all-female group that came out in the 80s, just like women's basketball, that's still relevant, has built their brand. So we felt like it was a good tie together, and we had over 7,000 people come out to that event on that Friday night, which is more than we usually have for our opening night of Tracie Town. So again, it really told the story of the student athlete, what they do on the court, what they go on to do, and just the fun that it is to be part of women's basketball.
Should we expect to see another weekend like we did in Indianapolis with all 3 divisions holding their national championships over a stretch of days in a big celebration like that? Is that on the plans for you guys? In the plans?
Well, it definitely was an amazing experience. We absolutely loved having all 3 divisions here. To be able to showcase in a city like Indianapolis the different levels of playing basketball was awesome, because for me, I wanted to play soccer growing up, but I didn't feel like I was good enough for Division I, and I didn't even realize that Division II and III, that was a thing. I ended up going to Division II school and probably could have played there had I had a better understanding of how things worked and if I was exposed to that. So we loved being able to show people that there is Division I, but look at these student athletes in Division II and Division III. It was especially a great addition because we had those on Monday, which is usually kind of an off day for us. We don't have a lot going on. They came out in droves to watch these women play, and it was a really great atmosphere. They had some great fans, but we also had a lot of those D1 fans who came out and supported them, and it was a fantastic atmosphere. So again, as I've mentioned, research, evaluation, we are going to look through everything, evaluate it, and see what makes sense, possibly making it, since last year was our 35th anniversary, maybe we do it every 5 years, or maybe we do it every time we're in Indianapolis, or perhaps we do it every 4 years, so that every student athlete gets to experience that opportunity as well. So we're definitely thinking about it. We thought it went extremely well. We were very happy with it. So I think when you do something well, you have to repeat it. We just don't know when it'll happen.
What segments of the fan base of women's basketball are you guys going to focus on moving forward, and how do you kind of activate their interest back in the Final Four?
Well, as I mentioned, we reached out to Shira Eli Gash as an ambassador, but in general, we want all women's basketball players to come back. We want them to see the women's Final Four as that homecoming, where when you come back, you're going to see a couple of your friends, and you're going to meet a whole bunch of new friends who used to play women's basketball as well. Sometimes people lose that connection if their coach leaves at the place they played. They don't have that alumni connection. So we want everyone to come here and just kind of feel that. So we started Alum Nation this past year, where we had a specific section. We had giveaways and events and things that they could attend. as part of a group, and they really got to know each other. And so we're going to build off of that. But again, the idea that everyone comes back and kind of supports that. And in addition to that, we did an offshoot of professional development. And so we know that everyone comes to the Final Four to have a good time. We talked about turning town and all the things that we have around that. But we also wanted to provide professional development because we know that student athletes are by far the best people that you want on your team. They are so great with that work ethic and understanding, and you just want to hire them after school when they graduate. But sometimes they don't have the work skills and the internships that you're looking for because they have been playing in college, or some that go on to the WNBA. They don't have that work experience that you would typically see at someone that age. So we want to create an opportunity for them to have those professional development opportunities, as well as meet business women in the city that we're in. So again, we get to move around, and it's great because it exposes them to these different women. But on the flip side, these women are coming and attending the event, and we're showing them how basketball is similar to business. How, Gino, watch him, how he coaches, watch how the team responds, and see how they, just by watching a game, see how they react, and what tips can you take away on the leadership side from watching women's basketball. So we started the Beyond the Baseline last year in Tampa, where it was a couple of professional development events in Tampa. And then this year we built off of that, and then also had some that were around the women's Final Four, which was an Advancing Women's Summit. So we had a personal branding center where we had Laisha Clarendon from the Fever. We had Julie Kratz, who is an author, and we had Casey Connor, who is a DJ out in LA. And they did a great presentation about how they built their brands in their different industries. And then we followed that up with one-on-one sessions. So you could meet with someone, a professional, to talk about your resume. You could do a mock interview. You could get your LinkedIn profile reviewed. You could get your professional headshot. So all of these things were able to expose former student athletes as well as women in the city, or our fans were all invited to come. It was all free, and they would attend. And so we had an event every single day that was similar to that, where you really got to meet people and you took away some valuable professional development, again, which is important to us for our student athletes and our former student athletes.
And that's today's One Question, brought to you by Turnkey Search, a top industry search firm since 1996. One Question is designed to give D1 Ticker subscribers valuable insights on how executive leaders in college athletics think about key issues on their respective campuses, in their departments, or within their leagues and conferences. One Question is brought to you by Turnkey Search, a top industry search firm since 1996.